Former CIA operative Morten who was once an insider in Al-Qaeda in Yemen, so he knows how these guys operate firsthand. Morten, thank you for being here. Here's my first question. Are they getting more aggressive? Because we saw, if this is ISIS, we've seen now them blow up a Russian airliner over Egypt, and now we see this coordinated attack that must have taken some level of sophistication and planning.
You know, it's not surprising. I've warned against this for over a year now, since the uprising of ISIS. The sleeper cells have woken up since Charlie Hebdo, the attack, and I think the only way is to do as France have done today, is to close all the borders and stop the invasions from these countries. Last week I said there will possibly be an attack soon. So, and unfortunately, I was right in this.
The sleeper cells have woken up. The question, though, is, you know, they've closed the borders now. What we're being told is the borders are closed to those who want to leave France, not necessarily to those who want to come in France. They perhaps are trying to suggest that the accomplices, or perhaps if there are any remaining perpetrators, might be trying to leave. So are those who may have helped in this endeavor, who are still alive, do you believe they'd be hiding in plain sight in Paris? I mean, how do they go about, these cells have got to be well hidden and well coordinated to have pulled this off. So how do they find them?
Well, these people are allowed to pretend to be one of us. It's a warfare, strategic warfare, according to Islam, that you can pretend to be amongst the enemies and be a part of them until you are given the permission to kill. So this is what happened in the time of Prophet Muhammad. I have studied Islam for 10 years. I have infiltrated the highest ranks of Al-Qaeda in East Africa and also in Yemen. And I know inside and out how these people think, the strategies they're using, and they're allowed to pretend to be non-Muslims even. So it's very sophisticated, it's very calculated and sneaky.
This may sound like a simple question, forgive me, but when you hear the barbarity of it, just going into a concert hall and standing there with these AK-47s, just one by one, picking off the people and reloading, and then again, civilians, targeted civilians, and in restaurants just going by and lobbing in grenades, according to the reports. One struggles to wonder, these aren't hard targets, these are soft targets. Is there any thought? I mean, there's no thought, is there, given to the fact that these are civilians, that on that airplane we saw over Egypt, there were babies on board. They don't care.
No. If it justifies the cause, it's permissible in Islam. And I can say that. This is according to Hadith. In Bukhari and Muslim, I've studied this. So I can say this, and I don't care what other imams are trying to say, because I have here a lot of apologetic, lying imams saying that Islam is peaceful. It is not. In fact, it's very violent towards non-Muslims, and it's permissible for these mujahideens, if you call it so, to kill non-Muslims, even civilians.
So what would be the reaction inside of these cells or groups, if this is ISIS or some ISIS sympathetic group tonight? They would see this as a victory, I presume, and what would it encourage? More?
Yes, this is going to encourage them even more. And I don't believe that these people are trying to escape France. In fact, they're trying to get into Europe. They are staying here. They are not going to leave alive. They will die in this fight.
What stops it from happening here? I mean, you look at I don't know, for lack of a better term, the ease with which they just shot up these restaurants and this concert hall, and you have to wonder what stops it from happening here. Do you know?
The only way is to fight fire with fire. We need to totally wipe ISIS out in the Middle East. We need to deport anyone who have links to Islamic extremism, or not extremism, but militant fundamentalism.
But they're like cancer cells. You wipe out one group, and then if there's just one left, they metastasize and they start again. I mean, is there any wiping out a group like this?
Well, there should be a ban on political and militant Islam in Europe, and anyone who have links from outside to such ideology should not be allowed into the country.
That's tough. That's tough to do. I mean, when you have open borders and a free society, you know, how do you stop it from happening? And that's one of the debates that we're having right now. And in fact, we're getting statements from all the presidential candidates here. One that just came in from Senator Cruz said that this is a clear and unmistakable escalation of ISIS's ambitions. Do you agree with that?
You know what? We have so-called professors or experts in counterterrorism who teach at King's College in London and other places. These people suggest that we should allow these terrorists to come back again to Europe so we can understand them. I do not know how they can think rationally like this. I mean, those who have been involved today in this horrific attack, some of them are returned fighters from Syria and Iraq. They came back with experience. I warned against this. Strip away the nationalities from these people.
Morten, thank you for being with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.